Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and you know, everybody in the XRP community they stayed mad. They have stayed mad at Charles Gasparino because he knowingly he knew full well what Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman had done and what ETHgate was, and he made the conscious decision to side with Wall Street. And I don't know who turned him or what, but he knew everything that went on, and he made a conscious decision to side with Wall Street against retail. And he had also done the same thing with the Roaring Kitty GameStop thing. So I think in ETHgate, he saw the same opportunity to get viewership and to stir people up and try to get them mad and all. I personally believe he should be ashamed of himself because, you know, he intentionally ignored the truth of what was going on. I believe this guy holds the position that, oh, you know, that's the way Wall Street's always been. In other words, he don't want to fix anything because that's his livelihood, is to side with those guys. That's kind of what I believe. But this is a pretty good clip. And they're talking about the Roaring Kitty thing.
Throw your money at it. You know, it may be up now. It's likely to go down in the future. We should point out, before the recent sort of controversy or the fact that Mr. Gill is re-engaging on social media, I think GameStop was down like 30% year to date. AMC.
No, it is not. Not even close. It's up year to date about 62%.
No, I said before. I said before.
Oh, before.
He re-engaged on social media. It was down 30%, and AMC was down similarly. And, you know, based on its financial metrics, it's not unreasonable to say it's going to be down again.
So my question to you is this. So nobody's saying that this is some amazing company. He says he sees a transformation. He's coming out. Hold on. You got to talk for 3 minutes. I'm talking now.
You said yesterday it was a good, fundamentally good business.
I said I never used those words. I said it made $5 billion in revenue last year. Okay.
No, but you said
that is not a zombie company, Charlie. Let me speak, and I will simply say to you that the world is littered. Charlie, stop. The world is littered with analysts who went out and pumped a stock and said it was amazing. People dove in, doubled down, and they lost a lot.
Who?
I mean, go to the .com world, and you could look at Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers Discovery back in April. Let's put up Warner Brothers Discovery. It was $22 or something like that back in April of 2022. Charlie, it doesn't help viewers if you're talking over me.
To some of the worst.
Can we put up the analyst calls on Warner Brothers Discovery? Today, after it is down more than 70%, there are still 11 analysts who have a buy rating on Warner Brothers Discovery. Can we put that up, please?
Does Warner Brothers Discovery make money? Is it profitable?
Well, it depends. I mean, it has a huge amount of debt.
Just like GameStop profitable.
Last quarter it was. I'm just saying, you act like the people who invest in it, who are retail investors, are eating crayons, and they are not. They are retail investors.
See, this guy's doing the bidding of his buddies on Wall Street, and I don't know what is. See, and then here's CNBC. Remember, all of these, Charles Gasparino, CNBC, all these are the same people. In his case, he tried to act like ETHgate wasn't real when he knew it was. CNBC, his friends at CNBC, they just ignored it. And now they're doing the same
with breaking news, because the live stream has finally started. You can see
they're not ignoring Roaring Kitty. See, they couldn't even. This is how you know how big a deal ETHgate was. They couldn't even bring it up. At least this they can talk about.
About 28 or so minutes late, but nonetheless, it is underway, and we'll see exactly what's gonna happen there. Andrew Left's still standing by. We'll give you updates when they happen. You can judge for yourself what's going on your screen. So let's do some of these moves.
All right, now I want you to check this out. The XDC part of this is totally irrelevant. This is about the end game coming faster than people think.
Those coins, bars, gold and silver are in it, and it'll be the ultimate barter tool to survive when everyone else goes to the bank machine and finds there's no money in it.
Well, owning gold and silver on their own does not guarantee your survival. I would say what you need to do is you need to think it all the way through to protect yourself, to protect your family, because no one else is going to do that. And yes, gold and silver are important because you're getting your cash balances, your capital out of the system. And I mean, if you've got brokerage accounts, you want to get those stock certificates. The great taking is absolutely real. Everything was footnoted. Those laws are already in place, and they're not going to put laws in place like what they put in place and not use them. They're going to tank the system. There's going to be banks going under all over the world, brokers going down all over the world, and the mass population is going to be bailed in all over the world. People are going to be left with no capital whatsoever, and then you'll see the population start begging for a central bank digital currency so that they can get a monthly stipend, so that they can buy some bread each month.
So we just heard bail-ins again, but he at the end there he brought up an important point. I think this was the end game. I believe that the plan is to create this type of CBDC and to have a universal basic income. And I believe it'll be a thing where if you accept the universal basic income, you become a financial slave to the government. I won't be accepting it, I can tell you that. Now we've got these weirdo Bitcoin maxis here.
Right. And ultimately, you think Bitcoin is going to surpass gold. What do you think is going to be the catalyst for people to start adopting Bitcoin, see it as a store of value, which is what gold has traditionally been seen as?
Well, I think there's room for both. I mean, listen, I'm not, I don't mince words, as you know. I try to talk to people very straight. I just think there's room for both. I understand why people own gold. I understand the 5,000-year human commitment to gold. But it's just not as user-friendly. It's not as transportable as Bitcoin. And, I'll say this to you. How can I, it's a little graphic, but I'll share it with you. I was in Saudi Arabia, and one of the sheikhs came over to see me, and they said, "Oh, Anthony, I saw you on TV, and you were saying that Bitcoin is like digital gold." And I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Oh, well, let me tell you something. It's better than gold. And let me tell you why." He says, "Right now, I'm in good graces with the crown prince and the king. There's no bone saw in my future." He said, "But if there should come a day where I'm in bad graces with these people, I have $300 million on a USB, and I can put that somewhere on my body or stick it where the sun doesn't shine and cross the Yemeni border or get out of here on a boat with my money. You can't do that with gold." Make sure you tell people that on television. So
how would I get gold through the airport? I can't put it in my brain, right? My ear hole isn't wide enough, right? It's got to go up my butt, I guess.
I would love to have been in the PR meeting where they thought that it would be a great idea to talk about sticking things up their butt. Weird. Okay. This is Congressman Thomas Massey. Listen up.
Because the world is using our currency, and we can do that as long as they use our currency. But I think it's going to end at some point. They're going to quit using our dollars as reserve currency. I mean, I watched your interview with Putin, and one of the things, whether you hate him or not, one of the things he said that is true is when we sanctioned him, before we sanctioned Russia, 70% of their transactions were in US dollars. And after the sanctions, it's less than 20% of their transactions are in US dollars. So what we're doing with all these sanctions, ironically, we're shooting ourselves in the foot every time we sanction a country and say you can't use our currency to have a transaction. We're taking away our ability to charge them 3%. for that transaction, because when we print 3% more dollars, we're just taking that money.
And we're also sending a really clear signal, which is the dollar's not safe for you.
Right.
It's the reserve currency because it's a safe haven, because it's a stable country. It's the most stable country in the world, and we're not going to weaponize the dollar because that would be shooting ourselves. But suddenly we are.
And they'll tolerate like 3% because if we're not backed by dollars, we're backed by aircraft carriers right now. So they'll sort of tolerate that 3%. But one of the things we recently did in Congress, we passed something called the Repo Act, where we said we're just going to seize all of Russia's sovereign assets in the United States. Well, it turns out a lot of that is treasury debt that they've agreed to buy so that they can hold dollars. And here's the problem with that. When people see that we've seized their money that they gave us in exchange for these treasury notes, then other countries won't want to buy our debt. It's already happening. And the price of a long-term bond that the treasury puts out it's already gone above 4%. It's like over 4.5%. They don't want to buy them anymore because, we probably wouldn't seize Great Britain's assets, but I could see us seizing China's assets.
That seems like theft. Just like take a country's assets. That belongs to the people of the country, right? It's not just Putin.
It is theft. Like, it's immoral, but even if you're okay with the amorality or immorality of it, it's short-sighted because eventually it'll catch up with us.
Exactly. Now, warning, I need to issue a warning. The crypto police are normally active on Saturdays. They are usually very active on Saturdays. So this is an XRP Optimism alert. You're not allowed to be too optimistic about the future of XRP or anything XRP. So this is a calling all cars alert that XRP is winning. This is from Jimmy Valley. He's talking about this year's consensus conference. He and Molly Elmore apparently went last year, and then they also went this year. Listen to this.
Any significant takeaways from consensus that you were surprised?
A couple of takeaways. One, Molly and I were there last year, and it was a very Ethereum dominated thing. In fact, I don't even recall. I know Ripple had like a booth, David Schwartz had like a developer kind of thing there, but
we had a dinner, and it was an XRP related dinner, and we were like kind of worried we would be sort of shunned because it was such Ripple was still maligned at that time because of Boston.
That has 180. This almost felt like an XRP conference.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of the projects
the conference room chairs had XRP all on the back.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, they had a huge area with kind of all, like Zonix and Palisades, and a lot of the companies that are working on the XRPL were there, very prominently featured. That was number one. Number two, there is this vibe that I did not pick up on last year that we've broken through, and it's kind of game on. It's like the business community and the developers are kind of starting to see eye to eye about the things they want to bring about. Obviously, real world asset tokenization was like the topic, the buzz phrase. So it was exciting. It was palpably exciting that we're kind of breaking through, and the days ahead are pretty good.
Awesome. I'm going to show, I've got a bunch of XRP stuff left. I'm going to cover all that in daixrp.com. I got more Jimmy Valley clips. I got just a lot more XRP stuff that I want to cover, and ran out of time in this video. So we're going to do it in daixrp.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that if you don't like XRP Optimism, you might not want to come in daixrp.com. Here we go.